everybody? I'm Brian Shay, beat writer for Bombers football for the Ithaca, and alongside Josh Getzoff and Andrew Champagne, play-by-play in color for WICB. Guys, this weekend, obviously a huge game, Cortaca Jug weekend. The Bombers come in at just 6-3, but had a very impressive win against Alfred on Saturday. Do they have what it takes to retain the Cortaca Jug for a third straight season?
Well, Brian, this is a really interesting game because for the first time in a long while, neither of these two teams are really in playoff contention. Ithaca's 6-3, Cortland is 7-2, but both losses coming in conference in the NJAC. This week, though, I think the Bombers have the slight edge. They've got Dan Ruggiero back in 100%. They finally have a running game, which they didn't have for most of the season. And I have a feeling that they're going to try and control the tempo and chew up as much of the clock as possible. I think it'll be a fairly close game, but I'll give the Ithaca Bombers the edge about 21-10.
Interesting take, Andrew. And Josh, how do you feel about this one?
Okay, well, I think the Bombers really rejuvenated their season last week after beating Alfred. They've had an up-and-down year. Injuries have really been the mainstay throughout the year. But getting a guy like Ruggiero back, as Andrew touched on, really pays dividends for the team. It opens up a running attack and thereby opening up a passing attack, which we've seen Thomas Vossler had a huge game last week. I expect him to be very important, as well as Brian Grassdorf's arm this week against Cortland. I think the Bombers win it 31-21.
So obviously you guys feeling strongly about the Bombers' chances on Saturday. Who will be some players to watch on both sides?
Well, for Cortland, the one guy to watch is obviously their quarterback, Alex Smith. A really interesting story for this guy was the quarterback from 2004 to 2006, played one game in 2007, didn't play in 2008, came back this year when Cortland really needed a quarterback. If they're going to win this game, he needs to play big.
On Cortland's side of the ball, I'm really interested to see how their defensive line comes out to play. They obviously have 3 guys on that line, 30 sacks on the year for that team. So Brian Grassdorf is going to be seeing a ton of pressure. It'll be interesting to see how he handles the pressure and if he can dictate play as a result.
All right, guys. Well, you feel strongly about the Bombers. I hate to agree with you because it makes better TV to disagree, but I got burnt last year picking Cortland over Ithaca, and they ended up upsetting the number 7th ranked team in the country at the time. But I think these guys are a resilient group of seniors. Their last game at Butterfield Stadium, so I see them coming out probably winning by about 2 or 3 scores.